And after that one, he does Django, and Django is actually a remake of an actual movie that actually existed, and I never actually seen that one yet. I mean, there's no reason why I didn't see it. Uh, I know it's not right. Might be close enough. Yeah, I know I can get it close. But Django stars Jamie Foxx, who plays Django, a slave, and Christopher Waltz basically, gets him free and basically helps him find his wife. So that's pretty much the synopsis of the movie is him. He becomes a bounty hunter with him, and they're hunting and taking out. And the movie's about him trying to be with the woman he loves, played by Kerry Washington. So in this movie, he starts out as like a quiet individual, but slowly he becomes the man he is meant to become at the end of the movie. And Jamie Foxx told a story while he was on when he was on Howard Stern, how he was playing him too tough in the beginning. So Quentin Tarantino put him aside. You're not supposed to be that. I mean, that's not the point of the story. It's where you're supposed to be a slave in the beginning, but then later become the tough guy. But you have to be humble in the beginning to show the evolution of the tough guy he's supposed to be in the end. So in the movie, and in this movie in particular, we are the audience, are Christopher Waltz watching the atrocities going through him, because as soon as he goes to him and gets the tells him who he is, he takes off the blanket or the whatever it is. He saws the scars around his back and he's horrified. So that's the a constant thing throughout the movie where he becomes friends with him. He can't believe someone do something like that. So when they have a point, and spoiler, they get to Candyland, which is played by the guy who runs it. Leonardo DiCaprio plays Calvin Candy, who runs Candyland. I forget how much of a monster he is, and Jamie Foxx has to play a monster, kind of like the character that Stefan is playing by Samuel L. Jackson. And if you show any sort of like, if you show any what your intentions are, they're gonna kill my wife and you. So we have to play our parts. And I guess Django's playing it too real, because what's the name, Dr. King Schultz, who is played by Christopher Watts, is getting more fed up with him. And if you haven't seen the movie, you need to watch it because it's a phenomenal movie. I don't want to tell a whole lot of it, but it's a love story, throughout of it. It's basically what it is, but it's an action movie through, and it's very violent. It's very a lot of rough dialogue that if you can't handle, I wouldn't expect to watch it. I wouldn't expect anyone if you can't handle that dialogue. And I understand there's a lot of racial slurs being thrown around this movie, but it's supposed to be set in the Civil War during the time of slavery. So, and Samuel Jackson did make a point saying that even though they criticized this movie, the movie 12 Years a Slave actually has just as much racial slurs used in that movie. For some reason, that's considered art. But hey, it's where's cup of tea it is. It doesn't matter. Now, he went on later on and did the movie the Hateful Eight, which is a story about I think I closed out too fast. The Hateful Eight is a story about, let's see. Oh, hate. It's set during, I'm assuming it's set during the Civil War, after the Civil War. And let's see if I get a, get, 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 a, get Let's see. The budget is 44 million to 62 million. The gross 155 million. It's still one of the best. It's one of his great movies he's done. Okay, I'm gonna try to see a synopsis of this film. Okay, let's see. Hateful Eight is convinced it's a novel, a sequel to a previous film, Django, before deciding to make it standalone film after the script leaked out in 2014. He canceled the film, instead depicted a live reading of United Arts Theater in Los Angeles before reconsidering resuming the process of the project. Now, Hateful Eight is a limited show, blah, blah, blah. I hate when they do this because here's the plot. In 1870, bounty hunter and a Civil War veteran, Major McQuallis Warren, is transporting 3 dead bounties to Red Rock, Wyoming. He hitches a ride on a stagecoach driven by OB aboard a bounty hunter, John Ruth, handcuffed to a fugitive, Daisy, I'm not pronouncing her name, whom Ruth is escorting to Red Rock to be hanged. Ruth and Warren are acquaintances, having bonded over Warren's personal letters to Abraham Lincoln and former lost causer military Chris Max, traveling to Red Rock as the town's new sheriff proceeds to Ruth and Warren to let him in on the stagecoach. Warren and Ruth from an alliance to protect each other from other bounties. That's the gist of it. It's a 3-hour movie about they're all in this cabin, and then like everything hits the fan. And the gist of it, it takes long to explain that movie itself. But after he did The Hateful Eight, his last movie he did was the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I kind of want to say it's kind of like the Hollywood movies, kind of like I'm just gonna cast because I'm gonna get the names, because I thought that what's his name's character was supposed to be Steve McQueen, but Steve McQueen's actually in the movie. Okay. Let's see. Rick Dalton, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, is a fiction story revolved around an actual historical events. So basically, Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth are fictional people who star in a movie about the 10th century of Hollywood in late 60s, early 70s. And in this movie, he's a struggling actor who's a TV actor who's trying to make it big, and he's doing Hollywood westerns, spaghetti westerns. He doesn't like too much. At the same time, while this is going on, the Sharon Tate situation is happening, and Cliff, who's played by Brad Pitt, who is his stuntman, befriends one of the ladies, whatever. But I don't want to get into details because it's loosely based off the Sharon Tate murders. And if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to tell you what happens. But basically, they kind of loosely talking about the story and everything. But I think it's going to be Quentin Tarantino's last movie. But in this movie, it's a phenomenal movie, and they do take a lot of liberties. The story that they got a lot of flack for is when Cliff Booth kind of like goes one-on-one with Bruce Lee, and they're kind of like pissed, but because they felt like that shouldn't have happened. But then you think about it, Bruce Lee probably would have challenged what's the name, Gene LaBelle, and that's what the story is kind of based off of. So you can take it, but then there's also the thing about the story about how the Sharon Tate depicted as well. So you can take it or leave it with a grain of salt, but I wish I had more to talk about at this time, but maybe I'll go back later on and basically, I don't know, try to find some more on Quentin Tarantino films. for right now, that's all I have on him. And I hope you enjoy listening. But hopefully next time I'm going to get a professor, because I want to go back, because I did a podcast on P.T. Barnum, and I want to try historians or someone in film that help me out and get more in depth in it. But for right now, I'm going to be signing out. Let's see. Thank you.